Well, as Iran seems to deepen its isolation with the West, its one-time ally, Libya, is continuing to rebuild its international credentials. Libya has given up its nuclear program and has seen highly lucrative foreign investment as a result. Jiyar of BBC Persian TV looks at the historic relationship between Iran and Libya and assesses its significance for the future.
When we look at archival footage, the image of Muammar Gaddafi reminds us of hostility between West and Libya. And this hostility brought two countries of Iran and Libya closer together, particularly in the beginning of the Iranian Revolution. In Gaddafi's early years, he opposed the Iranian Shah and pursued pan-Arabist policies. Mehrdad Khansari was a diplomat under the Shah and explains how things changed. How would you compare the foreign policy of Libya and Iran in the past 2 decades?
There's a great deal of similarity in the sense that both Libya under Gaddafi as well as the Islamic Republic of Iran have pursued similar policies when it has come to, let's say, pursuit of weapons of mass destruction, wanting to have a nuclear program, wanting to develop nuclear weapons, wanting to use the Middle East as a lever for enhancing their position in the Islamic world, for playing the Palestinian card, for opposing the peace proposals as put forth by the United States and its European allies.
During the 8-year Iran-Iraq war, Colonel Gaddafi was one of the few Arab leaders who supported Iran.
At 7 o'clock this evening, Eastern Time, air and naval forces of the United States launched a series of strikes against the headquarters, terrorist facilities, and military assets that support Muammar Gaddafi's subversive activities.
This was the American response. Gaddafi's palace was hit. One of the victims was his stepdaughter. But years of sanctions and isolation brought change to Libya.
Where the similarity is unknown is how the ending is. Libya could not endure the consequences of pursuing that policy, and it had to change directions given the level of international pressure that was placed upon it, whether in the form of sanctions or international isolation. Those sanctions and the isolation forced Libya to change direction. It remains to be seen whether the similar sort of measures could force the Islamic Republic of Iran to change course or not.
The revolutionary friends went their separate ways. Gaddafi gave up his nuclear program and called on Iran to follow suit.
I'm sure that the policymakers in Iran are aware of the direction which Libya took and of the consequences it had for the durability of the Libyan regime. The question is, they are aware that if they were to stop pursuing the kind of policies that they are, that there are foreign policy benefits for them at the end of it. The question is, and that is a calculation which they only can make, is to what extent will they become vulnerable as a result of changing direction in other areas which might make the regime more susceptible to change.
As Gaddafi rebuilds his international position, his old ally Iran faces more sanctions. It was a friendship, couldn't last forever. Jiyar, BBC News.
Pakistan's religious